It's kind of crazy that 4 years is almost gone at this point because they've been such key players and really good people throughout the 4 years. So, and I know we're not at the 4-year mark yet, but they've had a great impact on the program. Yes, they're in the record books, but they're genuine people. They're good people. They're good teammates. And after softball, they're going to go on to do some pretty incredible things.
Being a senior, I've had the privilege here to play under Ashley for 4 years now, and Coach Brown as well, and Coach Pandolfo. And they've been a really great support system, both on and off the field. And each year we've been able to get better, and I think a lot of kudos has to go to the coaching staff. So I've really appreciated the 4 years, and I'm sad to see that it's going to be done after this.
I'm excited. It's definitely going to be interesting this year. Coming in with 9 freshmen, it's about half of our team. So losing 5, I think all 5 started, I want to say, seniors. And so I think it's going to be really cool and interesting to see because it's definitely going to be a completely different team. Normally teams lose, a few girls. It's not too different, but coming into this year, it's going to be a completely different team. And I think it's going to be really exciting to watch my teammates play and move people around. I think we have a lot of people that can play a bunch of different positions. Every practice, people are always moving from third to short to second to first and filling in spots, infield, outfield. So I feel like the freshmen are very flexible players, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to do this year.
I think using the word underdog is like super motivating. I think it lets you play a little bit looser, like knowing that nobody's going to expect you to really do anything, but to come out there and then just prove everybody wrong. But I also don't want to use it in kind of a negative connotation, be like, oh, it's acceptable if we lose because we're the underdog. Let's just use that as a motivator to kind of go out there and push. Also, because we are so new, I don't want to compare them to any other person. Like, it's start fresh and just we got to go out there and play and just compete in the ACC.
My biggest thing is definitely positivity and good energy, and I always try to bring that to the table. I think it's really important, whether you are playing or not, to be really up and into the game, high energy, because I think that completely changes the game. If you have a team that's low energy and not really into it, they're not really talking much, not cheering on their teammates, it makes a whole difference, and the other team can already feel like they've won the game because the other team's not really into it. So I really try to keep the players up and going in the dugout and cheering, and that's really the main thing I try to do is just cheer on my teammates, stay loud, and stay into the game.
I mean, every day at practice we're working on both offense and defense, making it stronger. What I really like is something that's different from this year than last year. We've incorporated this new hitting technology called Blast Softball, and it's been able to track our different bat planes, our bat speed, and really just give you precise information exactly what is going on with every hitter's swing. And I feel like a lot of girls are taking that super seriously and looking at that every single day and wanting to get better via videos and all the other tips. And I feel like I'm really excited to see how that hard work and dedication going into perfecting whatever it is that might be going wrong in their swing. I'm excited to see how that translates into the game. I can already see it with some of our scrimmages. A lot of girls are producing well offensively, and I think a lot of that does have to do with the new technology that we've been given by our coaching staff. As regarding defense, I think we just need to always be talking and making sure that we're doing the little things right, not thinking ahead of the play. I think that's the only time we really get into an issue is if we start to rush. But then we just call it in as a team, make sure, hey, stick to the simple things, let's do this, break it up, and then everything's good to go. So looking forward to the season ahead.
Yeah, it's something we wanted to do for a little while. So there are a couple different companies out there. Set up a conference call with them, and they really sold us on the technology. And I think it's just a step for us to kind of move our offensive game to a different level. So I think video is great. I think anytime the girls can look at metrics and kind of see some numbers and what good numbers look like and what happens in a good swing, and then when something's a little bit off, what needs to be corrected. And I think hitting it's such a technical thing, so I think for them to be able to watch their swing during practice right after a round is really helping them make some quick adjustments.
I think one of the biggest things that we've been working on is just being super aggressive this year, going for those lead runners, getting those double plays, being quick. If we can be aggressive and get those lead runners and get those outs, and it's going to make it a lot easier on our pitching staff and a lot more loose for the hitters when we are getting those runs and like stopping those runs from scoring. So I think a huge focus for our team this year has been being super aggressive, not being scared to go for that lead runner and just kind of trusting whoever's behind the plate and just going through with that. And then also, I know Carly talked about this new blast technology, so we've just been picking apart our swings and just trying to figure out what works best for us. It allows you to video, and then it just instantly gets uploaded, so all the coaching staff can look at it, and it's just instant feedback. So you can record your swing, and then you can go look at it with the coach in the middle of practice, and we don't have to wait till after for them to load the film and stuff like that. So it makes it a lot easier for us to just kind of be really nitpicky with our swings, so that when we get into the game, we can just trust everything that we've done and just go super hard and know that we have worked on it.
Yeah, we've done a lot of hitting. I think we have the chance to be a really good hitting team this year, and us coaches were sitting around the other night kind of talking about the same thing. So I thought we had great hitters last year. I think there's a couple kids that as soon as they kind of break loose and a couple things click for them, I think they're going to put up some really impressive numbers early on in their career. So been working a whole bunch on hitting, and then on defense we're big on turning double plays and going for lead runners, and it's just we just kind of want to be known as that aggressive team who we're going to take chances. So sometimes it's going to work out and sometimes it's not, but we obviously hope it works out more than it doesn't.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely something I think about. I think it was 2 years ago I was like 2 away from breaking the single season record. Definitely something I look at. Definitely something I'd like to capitalize on this season. I definitely would love to break the record. Not necessarily just to break the record, but I would love to just way past the amount of stolen bases I've gotten in past years. It's my last season, so I want to do it big. And I definitely want to get 10 plus more runs than I have in the past. So I'm really excited to be running the bases, something I really love to do.
Yeah, 5 away. I think she'll break it opening weekend. But yeah, she's that type of kid who we get her on base, and the percentage of us scoring when she's a leadoff and she reaches first base is through the roof. We've run the numbers on that. So any way she finds a way on base, she's going to be taken off at some point. So just being aggressive, and if whether it's just a straight steal or we have some kind of play going, we're going to be aggressive with her.
I think the freshmen this year bring a lot. They're all super different pitchers. They're super gritty, and I know Coach Brown has been on them, and they've all been working really hard. I don't think there's a time at practice when they're not doing something that has to make them better for pitching. They're constantly working and doing things. While we're hitting, they don't hit. They're constantly doing stuff to get them better. We have a lot of depth. We have a lot of different pitchers that throw a bunch of different spin pitches, and I think it's a really good rotation with them. It's going to be hard being a freshman on the mound playing against people. Some of these girls are 18 years old and they're playing against 22, 23-year-olds. So it's going to be tough, but I think that they all mentally have the mindset that they're going to go in and dominate. And I know Coach Brown preaches that with them. You're going to go in and you're going to dominate, and it doesn't matter how old you are. You've worked on all this stuff, and they work really hard every day, whether it be in bullpens and in practice.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's new, which is great. I think they've been working really hard. They stay busy during practice. It's not a pitching staff that throws for an hour and then are feeding tees and feeding the coaches for ground balls, fly balls. But they're constantly doing something. So they pride themselves on being the hardest workers, and I think they are. And I think they're all going to get an opportunity the first weekend and second weekend, and then we'll kind of try to hash things out from there. But they're young and experienced, but we're not going to use that as any type of excuse, because I think they're getting plenty of experience through the fall and then through these winter months.
I think for me, I'm trying to take a game, one game to the next. However, I know that there are some big ones, especially you mentioned it, Florida State, that we're all looking forward to. But I think it's important to just take it game after game. The only one that's on my mind right now is that first one, just opening up at University of Texas and playing Boise State. So I think that's got to be the main focus, and I think that's where everyone's head's at right now.
I think a couple years ago, we spent a whole lot of time worrying about what other teams had, and we kind of neglected what we had. So we kind of take the approach now where let's talk about what we do well. Let's talk about our game plan and how we're going to come away with that first win.